Welcome to Gold Medal Business, the place to be if you're a children's activity and sport entrepreneur who is serious about growing and scaling your business to six-figure success and beyond. We talk growing your team, growing your students and your venues, and so much more. I'm Katie Cannon, former 5 times British gymnastics champion turned 7-figure entrepreneur. Are you ready to get started? Let's grow your business. The biggest thing that we're going to be working on is doubling your productivity. Now, the reason why I start this, as I mentioned before, I can't tell you the amount of people that come to me and they say, Kate, I just want to learn a marketing strategy. I just need to work on my marketing, or I need to get myself out of the business, or I need to just hire a team. And I look at their schedule and I look at where their time is being. And I'm looking at the current state of their business. And this can happen whether someone's brand spanking new, or I've seen this when companies are turning over a good couple of million in their business and they're franchising. And they're wondering why they haven't got the time, they haven't got the energy, and why their business is absolutely exhausting them from every angle. Now, whether I said you're brand new or you're very established, I want you to, especially if you're brand new, this is even more paramount to you, because I want to make sure you've got the skills in terms of building you as a CEO. The reason why we're starting with this piece today is because so many people have said, come to me and they say, I'm ready to build my franchise, or I'm ready to grow more classes. Now, you'll hear me say this again and again. I've experienced this, and it is one of my main missions within Gold Medal to create CEOs in the children's activity world, not business owners, CEOs. The reason why I see so often many people can grow this business. It's so easy to go, I'll just add another class on or add another venue on. Before you know it, a parent said, you're not in my area. Can you come to me? And you're absolutely no problem. At one point, I had venues all over London. It looked good on paper, but I had a lot of crap. There was a lot of crap going on and no quality. It's very easy to grow, but it's not easy to scale. And I often am looking at businesses and I'm scaling them right back, almost stripping them back to basics before we can grow again. We take 10 steps back to make 30 forwards. So the roadmap I'm giving you this week are the key parts that you just need to start thinking about and learning and making sure one thing in place, one thing at a time. So that, this isn't going to happen overnight. This is not things you're going to be like, I'm going to get it all up and running in the next 2 weeks. One thing at a time. Build strong, but with deep-rooted foundations. I would much rather you build a business that is going to survive the test of time. So the main thing is that you've got the basics in place, because so often I see you're building and we're grabbing strategies, or you're grabbing something. Social media is great for some things, but social media it's teaching that one strategy. It's teaching you something that might get you a few students through the door. It might make you bring in the next 30 to 40 students. That is not what this week's all about. And that is not what we're all about at Gold Medal. We're wanting to teach you deep-rooted disciplines and foundations in your business that is going to build a thriving business for years to come, not just a quick win. You're going to get them, but we're wanting to create those deep foundations. So the first thing I want to share with you today in terms of doubling your productivity, we call it something called white space within our programs. Now, white space is exactly what it sounds. I want you to do this exercise now with me. I want you to look back at your week last week. It might look slightly different at the minute because we've just come off the back of obviously coming out of summer holidays, but you might want to take a week. I'd advise taking a full week that you have worked. So it might be the last week of July. It might be the first week of July. It might be last week. But I want you to look at your week like a standard week and really look at where have you got the time to actually be working on your business. It's working on your business to grow it. Now, this might look completely different. You may have your business running around a full-time family life. You might have your business as a side hustle around a full-time job. Or you may be in the stage that you are full-time in your business already. So wanting to teach you how to create that white space. So number one, I said, is white space. Now I want you to look at what you are currently got in your diary. And I want you to look at what can only you do in your business and what could you start that somebody else could do. Because there's no point, and this depends where you're at in your business. If your diary at the minute is solid with you in the business, meaning you're doing every class, you're setting up some admin, you're doing the sales, you're doing the marketing, then you're at a stage of your business where you are not ready to scale. If you're looking at your business and you're like, do you know what? The business up and running. I've got a bit of a basic team. I've got someone on the phone, got someone doing admin and sales. I've got the database in the background. I've got the sales that are automatically running. I've got a percentage of my business that is running automatically. And you find you've got pockets of time or chunks of time in the week. You know, okay, I've got a bit of breathing space. I've got a bit of time that I can go, do you know what? Okay, I could put that into building that next stage. I could put it into building those next classes. I say this a lot when people come to me and say, I think I'm ready to franchise. The first thing I do is this exercise, because often they've got a solid diary. And I say, so when are you ever going to find the time to build this franchise? A franchise is not just an add-on to your business. It's almost like a completely different business model. I always relate it. It's almost like having a children's activity business and a coffee shop, because they're two different businesses. So almost use the same strategy, exactly the same, with knowing, am I ready to scale or not? In terms of building your schedule, to really turn yourself from a business owner to a CEO, you need to be working on your business 70 to 80% of the time to make sure that you're working in your zone of genius and not working in the business, that you can really start to grow it. So the first exercise, have a look. Where are you at on that in terms of white space? And I just want you to put a little box in the chat box. I just want you to put how many hours a week do you feel, by just doing that quick little exercise, how many hours a week do you feel that you're working on your business, not actually in it? So just kind of put a bit now. Maybe it's 10 hours, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 0. If it's 0, put 0. I know exactly where you're at and the key things to start to helping you with. To teach you white space, one of the reasons this is important, growing your business is like mental gymnastics. Scaling your business is even harder mental gymnastics. Scaling your team, scaling your brand, scaling your marketing is all about internal strategy and mindset. It's not so much about big strategy. It's very internal. When you're starting to get 500,000 plus a year, it's very much internal rather than strategy. If you're under that at the minute, it is very much about setting up the foundations, the team members, the roles, your organization, the operations of your brand to start to give you that white space. You need, as you build your business, it's all about building your emotional capacity. So I share this with you. I have more time now with 3 young children. I've got a 1-year-old as well. He's sleeping. The other 2 should be sleeping, but I've got a 1-year-old and 3 businesses. I have more time now having a very busy family life. I work 3 days a week with a couple of businesses than I did 15 years ago, single, no children, with 1 business, because I've learned how to operate like a CEO. I've learned how to build strong teams. I've learned over the years how to build my emotional capacity by creating this white space, which then gives you the breathing room and the time to think and to build out that capacity. What bothered me 20 years ago now I'd probably think about for a second, because I've stretched. You're building yourself like a muscle. Okay. So, and I use that to inspire you, because it's about working. I'm wanting you to be working smartly. And that's why I said at the beginning, it's about balance. I want you to build great families and I want you a great lifestyle, whatever your dream is, and to build a phenomenal business, not one or the other. The two can come together, but you've got to do it in a smart, strategic way. And starting with white space 100% help you. So number 1 is white space. Number 2, streamlining. Now, if you haven't already, some of you may already have this, some of you may not, but I want you to get yourself a project management tool. Now, there are many different versions of this. They are free. So you can use Airtable, you can use Trello. There's also Asana, 3 little examples there for you. Use them. You can start basic, but I want you, whether you're a team of 1 or you're a team of 500, you're wanting to get off of pen and paper and into a project management system as quick as you possibly can. We started working on this about 7-8 years ago, and it was a complete game changer because you're wanting, so many times I hear, but it's okay, I know what I'm doing, it's in my notebook. Or I know what I'm doing, it's in my spreadsheet. Or I know what I'm doing, it's in my brain. And I'm like, I want you to think about this way. Let's say you were suddenly off sick for a couple of weeks, someone comes in to replace you. Can that person come in and take over your position? If you weren't there and you've gone on holiday, does your business survive? Does it thrive? I just come back of having a couple of weeks away, and our business has increased while I've been away. That would not have been the case 7-8 years ago. No way. So it's looking at this project management tool. So you've got Airtable, Trello, Asana. We're not affiliated with anyone. So, they're all free, very easy to set up. And what I want you to start thinking like, I want you to operate with different priorities. We teach the priority P1, P2, P3 system. And this is very simple to implement. Pick priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. This is one of the key things to developing your white space and developing you, the CEO. Because all the time we are overwhelmed entrepreneurs and everything's important, isn't it? We've got an idea. We should do this. This is good over here. Oh no, why don't we do this next month? Before you know it, the year's gone. We're nearly at the end of 2024. Madness, absolutely mad. But that is why you then don't become the CEO, why you don't build the business that you want in terms of time and freedom, because you end up with a very complex business model because you're not focusing on the right things, and you've got ideas and income streams in all different places that are not working. You'd much rather have one income stream that is booming rather than have 5 rubbishy ones. The best way to build your children's activity business is by keeping it simple. Simplicity scales, complexity kills. Many years ago, as I was building, I had a very complex model. You name it, we had it going on. And it didn't work. I was literally stuck at about 300,000. And I was like, I'm working all the hours. I just don't understand how I can move myself forward. It wasn't until I stripped it right back. I simplified things. I started working with the formula I'm teaching you, P1, P2, P3, and really working on what does actually work in my business, rather than creating all these different avenues that you think, they're still bringing little income streams in. And this is one of the reasons when a new business comes to me and said, I'm going to set up some classes, then I think I'm going to try some holiday camps. I'm like, okay, let's just set up the classes first. Get that model absolutely rocking. Then add camps. Otherwise, you're going to end up with half empty here and half empty here. Because, you can absolutely set up camps and send a few leaflets, but it's going to be mediocre. To really go for it, you want to put all your energy into it, like anything, and all your resources, rather than end up with a little bit over here and a little bit over there. It's more taxing on your emotional capacity to build in that way, and you're not going to get results you want. Project management, P1, P2, P3. So P1 is anything that needs to get done in the next week to 2 weeks. This is the one thing that needs to be fully committed around your monthly goal. So if you're looking at your monthly goal, what is the one thing that you need to do that drives your numbers, that drives your cash flow, that drives your team? The most important thing that needs to be done has to be a P1. Okay, so let's say, for example, to give you an example, your target was to improve by 50 students in the month of September. You got to have the right Facebook ad, the right text that's converting, the right images. What happens next? It's the next part into the sales funnel, the admin cycle, which we're going to talk about throughout the week, and your enrollment processes. What happens next? Do you have enough team? If 50 children come through the door, do you have enough team to support it? So that's a couple of goals in one, but what do they all have in common? It's all increasing that student numbers. So think of it this way. The one thing, it can be increasing your cash flow. If you're increasing your cash flow by 5,000 this month, how many students do you need to get that 5,000 through the door? How many new team members do you need to support that? So one goal is almost like a spider diagram. Okay. So that is your number one priority, is to get those students through the door, which then making sure you've got other spikes coming off that you're supporting and bringing it in with. Okay. That could be a P1. Let's say P2, you're thinking, I really need to improve my syllabuses. But your main priority is cash flow. Building out your syllabuses is not going to improve your cash flow. What I teach with our mentees is, what is the urgency? Where is the leaky funnels? What is not working? Do you have a lead issue? Do you have a sales issue? Do you have a conversion issue? Do you have a recruitment issue? So if you come to me and say, I'm really struggling with trials to members, that straight away is you haven't got a lead issue. You've got loads of leads. The issue is something. It's not your marketing, because your leads are flying in. Your marketing's cool. It's like, okay, it is now, why are they not converting? What is happening in your classes? It's something to do with the class. It's something to do with the instructor. So it's looking and diagnosing, where so often I say, I've got a problem, don't know where it is in the business. So then suddenly we change everything, and then you're just going back to basics again. Then you realize why it's a vicious circle, and you're in the same place where you are. If you felt like that, where you feel like you don't know what's work, you don't know what to change, and then you feel like you need to change everything, and then you feel like you're back in the same place a good, 6 months down the line, because you've almost just changed everything. It's almost like when I say with a Facebook ad, if it's not working, don't change the whole thing. Make one tweak, change the image, change the video, maybe change the sentence or the opening subject line, then work on it like that. Think of the same analogy in every single part of your business. So P1, next week or 2 weeks. P2 can be anything in the next sort of 2 to 3, 4 weeks, right? And that is something, if you said, I really need to work on my syllabus, that's not important. It's not going to build more children through your classes. If you're struggling to get students through the door, it's not about your syllabus, because not enough have gone through your syllabus for you to think, I need to work on it. Okay. So that needs to be done, but it's not urgent. It's not towards your main goal. And this is where, when you start working like this is how I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not stressed out. I'm working on the key parts of my business, where years ago I was stressed out. I had so many plates flying. I didn't know what to focus on. I now work on the key things that only Katie can do. What's my zone of genius? I do my lives. I do our calls. I do our coaching. That's my zone of genius. I'm not doing all the back end. I'm rubbish at it. It's not my strengths. It will take me a long time. So really dialing in on, why did you get in business in the first place? And what is the main skill that you can bring to your business? So P1, P2, P3. P3 is, it's a good idea. It's not urgent. So often if I've got an idea, I will whack it in a P3, and I will revisit like once a quarter. I'll go through the P3s and go, which one can we bring to fruition? Which one can we work on? So when you work like that, you start to work within your brain. Forget a to-do list or an action list, scrap it. Because that never, let's be honest, that goes on, doesn't it? And then before you know it, if you're anything, I used to actually rip out the to-do list and make it neater. Anyone done that? And you're like, oh, it looks a bit untidy, or it's too much. Oh, do you know what? Do you know what will make me work faster? If I rewrote that. Yes, Katie, that's going to take you 10 minutes to rewrite. So you've just wasted that time. So scrap that, put it in your P1, P2, P3, and then straight away pop it in your calendar. Basic. But it saves so much time. As soon as you plan out your week, put it in your calendar. What gets scheduled gets done. Are you ready for that next level of growth, and you're super serious about getting the level of support that you need? Then look no further. Our Your CEO Mentorship Program is open for you to apply to if you are insanely serious about growing your marketing, your team, your next level leadership. you're really serious about that next level growth and scaling your brand to your next vision and beyond, this is exactly the right mentorship for you. It's a 12-month mentorship which is completely tailored around your needs to grow and scale your brand in the children's activity industry. With over 100 years of experience in this program of myself and my team that are sharing weekly trainings of team successes, but also the one-to-one touch. One of the things that we're incredibly powerful and proud of our mentorship is it not only gives you the group element, but it gives you the high touch, the high nurture, and the one-to-one support that I know after teaching hundreds of entrepreneurs will really take you to that next level. So if this is something for you, I want you to book a call in the show notes below. Get yourself in front of our team so we can see if this is exactly the right fit for you and to get you up and running and to start to see your business thrive. So number one, we talked about white space. Number two, talking about organizing through a project management tool and organizing your leads time and your P1s, your P2s and P3s. My whole team work by this operation. So when I have meetings, my meetings are no more than 15 minutes. And literally everyone comes to the table with their P1s. So it starts to help your team think for themselves. So often I don't lead the meeting, they do. And I'll sit and we'll say, whether it's Zoom or in person, I'll say, so head of sales, what's the P1 this week? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And then so they're thinking, they're leading their position. I'm not spoon feeding them. They're coming up and going, well, I'm leading this position. I'm not being a helicopter manager. They're coming up with it. And I'm like, awesome. If I need to give any feedback, I will. But most of the time I'm like, cool, that's it. That's in line with our quarterly goal, our monthly goal, because they know it. So it's not just for you to start building out, build it out with your team as well. It will save you hours and hours. I was once working with a client. We did a big focus day about 6 months ago. And she was having like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes even with each of our main team members. So she had about 15 leaders. It was a big organization. And by pulling this together, we took her meeting times from 7 hours on a Monday down to 2. And then that time, she's now created a whole nother side of the business in that time, which is now her CEO day that she builds out on. So just think, it's the time that you're wasting. Okay. So yeah, sure. Trello is exactly the same. Doesn't matter what it is, similar, but just use whatever works for you. They all do the same thing. But yeah, use that system, P1, P2, P3, because you'll really start to manage your mind and really start to focus on actually what needs to be done in your business. So 1, we've done white space. 2, we've done streamlining. And then 3, I want you to start thinking, as I said at the beginning, I don't want you to be a business owner in the children's activity space. That's a good place to be. But being CEO is even more awesome, because when you're a CEO, you're actually making the money that you want to start to make, but you're also building a lifestyle and having the time that you actually envisioned when you started your business, rather than being in the daily grind for years and years and years and feeling like you can never get out. I want you to look at your day, similar to what we did with the white space. I want you to look at your day and look at, okay, what does your current day look like? And what do you actually want it to look like? So we just scribble down a few things in your notebook. Scribble down, what does your current day look like now? And what do you want it to look like? This will differ depending what stage of your business you're at. But it's really looking at what's your priority for you. What are your non-negotiables in your day? Build your business around you. You are the most important part of your business. And often, been there, done it, got the t-shirt many times over in this, often we're the last person. We're the last person to get paid. We're the last, oh, I'll cover that class. We're like the dog's body in the business, and we own the flipping business. So we want to make sure you're creating a business that you actually enjoy and you love doing, because you work from that place. You will, the journey to being an entrepreneur it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's continuous. You've got to enjoy it. There's no point going, when I hit this goal, I'll be happy, or when I hit this, it will all be good. Do it now. Okay, do it now and build your business out exactly like you want it to be. So my non-negotiables to give you some inspiration, is I take my children to school in the morning. I pick them up 3 times a week. Okay, they're my absolute non-negotiables. I have holidays off. Non-negotiables, I don't work on the holidays. I will work a little bit in the evenings, but I'm there with them in the day. At the end of 7 weeks holiday, my patient's a little bit lower at the minute. I was in the office today and it felt like a holiday. But my non-negotiables are them because I've got young children. Yours might be different if your children are older, or if you don't have children. So it's just building out your business that fits around your lifestyle, okay? And fits around what is actually important to you. So thinking about your time off to revitalize and make sure you can turn up as your best self. Think of making sure you're building it around your family. Looking at your business from an income standpoint as well, thinking, what do I actually need to earn from this to give me and my family the lifestyle that I wanted when we actually set this business up in the first place? If there's parts of your business that you're in as the CEO and you're like, why am I doing this role? I absolutely hate it. I'm rubbish at it. Let's do something about it. It's your business. The main role as the leader, as a CEO, is to knock through challenges. You will have challenges, but the biggest thing that you need to do is to find a solution. Be solution orientated. Whether you need to find an investment, whether you need to find the right network, whether you need to find the right team. Your main job as an entrepreneur is to be resourceful and to find solutions and to be the visionary for your team, but yourself as well. So not just shouting it out from the rooftops to your team, but believe in your own vision. Because there's no point you building a business that you're like, yeah, I believe in freedom and I want to build this great lifestyle, and you never see your children. And you're shouting to your parents, yeah, bring them to me, and I love seeing the kids and I've got kids, and you think, and this is so far out of my mission and my values. So making sure it's all in alignment.
Hi, my name is Amy Schweizer, founder and director of Tiny Troop Soccer. I'm so excited to join Katie in the Gold Medal Coaching Program. On our intensive day, Katie was kind enough to allow my director of operations as well as my assistant director to join us. We had 4 hours of one-on-one personalized coaching that was directly for our business. Katie is the first professional that I've come across that is focused on children's activities business. So that is what first drew us to her. After taking her Scale to Freedom Accelerator, I knew that this would be a great fit, and the focus day just completely solidified that. We're excited to work on our marketing programs as well as our affiliate locations. I'm excited to see what Katie has in store and how my business is going to grow. Thank you.
So making sure your day looks like, I said, talking about your priorities and really making sure that you said your job as you're starting to build your business is team building. Your main job is said to be the visionary and is to lead people. So the only way that you're going to become from a business owner to you, the CEO, and then from a CEO to building your empire, and that to give you an idea on the kind of crossovers that what that looks like from crossing over from sort of like you business owners to CEOs is very much sort of from like obviously startup to around sort of 400, 500,000 turnover a year, roughly, give or take. That's normally where we see the margins from business owner to complete CEO. Sometimes it's sooner, sometimes it's a bit later, depending on your current model. Going from sort of complete you, the CEO, the business has got enough cash flow for you to step out as the leader, to be the visionary and have managed in place. We're looking at sort of 500,000 to $1 million. And when you're at that goal, that's when your main role at that point is building people and systems. Your business, there's no point when you're scaling up to say 500,000 or you're scaling up to $1 million and you've put no work into people and you just built systems. They have to come together. People and systems are what make or break your business. Okay. So it's thinking about that, whether you're very close to that or you're just starting, it's good to know that and keep that in mind. Because I always say, whether you're looking for really good managers now, but you think, I actually don't need them for the next 3 years, doesn't matter. Start looking now because they're not easy to find with the right caliber and the right people that you're wanting. I'm always on the lookout for people, whether I need them now. We're planning now our team in the next 24 months. We're looking now. So start looking. So I said, well, you're listening to this, wherever stage of your business you're at, take it on board, start thinking about it, and start putting things in place so that you can plan and you're building the right team and the right team of people and the right processes for when that time comes for you. So to give you a bit of a recap, we've covered, as I said, building out your white space. We've covered streamlining, and we've covered really developing you, the CEO. So simplicity scales. And just think of, very unhealthy example to use, even though they try their best on the health side, is look at McDonald's. Look at any fast food chain. They're simple. McDonald's hasn't done pizzas. Yeah. There's a reason. Everyone knows what they're known for. Pizza Express, it's a fast food are great for simplicity. They know their product and they duplicate it. But I see so many times in this industry, multi-sports is a key one. I see people, I've just worked with a client on this and transformed a lot in their business in exactly this model. They've been running for about 7 years. They've done really well with, say, tennis. Done a really good tennis program. They then moved on to basketball. It's not done as good. They're now adding on another sport. We've actually stripped it right back and said to focus purely on tennis and scale that even bigger. And they've saved money and they've actually increased their turnover by 20% because they focused on what they're good at. They've not added more. Another 15 years down the line, they may be then able to add another one. In my early days, we did gymnastics. We started off with gymnastic gyms. That was our forte. Before you know it, we did a bit of cheerleading. Of course we did. Why not throw in some trampoline and some acrobatics? Oh, don't forget, let's do a bit of dance. Oh, let's see if we can scale to all these schools across the UK. Yeah. So we've got a good model that was running, but I'd complicated it and we scaled it right back. And then what happened? It grew a lot faster. So it's so easy because naturally as entrepreneurs, we've got ideas. We want to build. That's what we do. But it can also be the worst thing that I see in many people lose focus. And that's why they then are in the same place and just go round and round in circles. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute honor training, nurturing, and coaching with you today. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed and you've really got some great benefits, please share with someone you know or someone in the children's activity space to really support them in their growth as a children's activity entrepreneur. Please hit subscribe so we can hit more people and get more great value to them. Thank you so much for being part of our community. It's an honor each week to train and nurture you, and I cannot wait to hear all of your great business successes.